Alright guys, how's it going? First of all, I apologize for this crazy busy ass weekend that I've had. I pretty much explained that in my ERP video reaction that I did. And secondly, I apologize for any sniffling because allergies decided to act up this morning. So we're back and we're slowly making our way up. Like I said, the last video was 20 minutes what we did, so I'll probably keep it around that time. So just to make some things a lot easier. And I apologize for any lagginess. Which is lagging to me might seem somewhat smooth to you guys. So basically, everyone went on high alert in the castle. So basically, we're still in the mages' floors, and says mages, Zeta's cultists are here. They will fail to stop us. So be. And this is the floor where you will get a little side mission where you have to find these certain objects to find certain scrolls that'll give you like currency or new gear and stuff like that. So let's see here. He gave me up a long time ago. Zeta can save us. Yes, this is where they're debating that pretty much Dracula just gave up a long time ago, trying to save the land from the Empire, save the land from the Zeta and stuff like that. Now they're basically just blaming him. I'm sure he has a plan. Remember, he's always watching, which is always true. But Alucard won't fight back, perhaps, because people always assume that because someone has a strategy and they haven't made a move yet, that they're not going to, throw that first punch or not bother fighting back whatsoever. It's like, it's strategy for a reason, they're watching their enemy's movement, they're seeing how they're going to react, they're seeing, where they're placing their chess pieces at, You can't always just rush into combat and think you're just going to win. That's how you end up making mistakes, and that's how you end up losing. So it looks like these are the books. It's old and dusty. So basically, there's just not part of the mage's library you can go around. And this is this area. I know it's one over here. Yeah. You have some mages that are meeting with cultists of Zeta. So I'd let you guys explore that in the DLC. Our whole objective is to actually get to Alucard, so Lord Dracula. Basically, this is the whole, how would I put it? I wouldn't say random area, but this is where, like, all the, I guess, units, in a sense, would come together. You have your mages, you have your royal guard, and you have Wolfhaven merchants and stuff like that, that are all colluding and trying to figure out, what's the best possible way to make any money, who's going to survive the wars, which pieces are going to go where, so on and so forth. Basically, kind of like maybe the merchant floor or something like that, but you have like little Wolfhaven merchants over there and stuff like that. Hey, it's a war, you got to make some sort of money off of it. While you have the mages and the royal guard bickering at each other. Who's going to take charge? Since Dracula hasn't said anything. And then, basically, we come up to where the trailer begins, which is the Royal Vampire City, which is literally a city inside the castle, and you come up to some of the doors and it says, house is locked, needs a house key. Well, you need a certain type of key in order to unlock these houses, and we'll actually get that in a minute. And it's actually technically a side mission, so we're not going to be doing it because I'm saving all side missions in case you guys ever want to join the server. You can do the side missions like that. So the Royal Vampires, you smell that? Wait, you're human. Why did you come to spy on us? No spy, we're the hero, buddy. Well, sort of. Humans don't belong here, you should leave. Well, we found that out when we came across several of them down in the barracks. Of course, those were bandits and thieves, so it's kind of a little different. But even the royal city is pretty much on its heels too, like what's going on, what's going to happen, stuff like that. Everyone knows that the cult of the Zeta has basically infiltrated the Dracula's castle, but yet he has yet to do anything about it. Some people always say, well, what are a few spies you're going to be able to do, against an entire army? They give me quite a bit, So basically, you'll slowly make your way up. I think it's one more floor. Yeah, one more floor up here. No, it's not very low. 1 second. Okay guys, we're back. Had to load some chunks in there. Minecraft is such a goddamn fickle game, I swear. So basically, the little history of the Royal Vampire Town, ever since the old one was basically abandoned to build the new one because of, like I said, they may be vampires and they may be undead, but they are still slowly being affected by Zeta's curse, the longer they stay nearby. So it just takes a longer time before it affects them. So basically, they kept all the sick ones downstairs and basically moved everyone who was still healthy enough up here. So then they basically slowly built the city as you see now, hence the reason why you have so many revenants and ravengers, kept in the dungeons and abandoned areas and stuff like that, because they were slowly corrupted by Zeta's influence and basically became more monsters than they actually were. So, and we will be taking this elevator up here. Where we will meet the mistress of the state, aka the mayor of Royal Vampire City. And these ones are not happy to see you. Whispering is a human. And you have to realize that a human has not been at Dracula's castle for the last 250 plus years or so. So seeing a human for the very first time in that long period of time seems kind of suspicious, especially when your own leader is a vampire himself. Well, not technically just a vampire, but we'll get into that later on. This is Mayor Myra. I cannot speak, I apologize. So, whispering, Mayor, you may approach. Human, well, this is a surprise. Victor, which is her son over here. You're human, you will bow to the queen of this town, Mayor. Hush, child, can you see you're scaring the human? Which, not. And kind of a long story, so hang in there. My name is Mayor Myra. I'm the leader of the Royal Vampire City. Myra has been this way for 300 years now. A little more older than Wolfhaven was established. You may want to sit down, child. This is a long story. Before Wolfhaven came to be, my family were strangers to these lands, and basically meaning that her family was actually one of the first immigrants to actually ever come to this land, escaping the grasp of the Empire. Emptiness and scared running from the Empire. The land was covered in fog, and when we landed, we were approached what we thought was a man who came to help us, but he was no man. Pale as the snow, his breath could freeze the air, his hair blacker than the night sky. His name was Alucard to humans, but Dracula to the supernatural world. He was my king of this land and watcher of the one who was abandoned here. Basically, apologize for a moment. I apologize, I had to blow my nose there. Basically, she's talking about Zeta, because Zeta was abandoned to this land, and Dracula basically watched over his own kin before the immigrants ever showed up on this land. As you know them as Zeta, he helped us govern a piece of this land for ourselves, which he was talking about Dracula helping the immigrants establish, which would eventually become Wolfhaven, but be warned to I just totally skipped all that. He helped us govern a piece of the land for ourselves, but he warned us never to go near the Bastille, which he did. He basically fair warned him that, hey, you can establish all the land you want, just don't go near that prison. There's a reason why. It was a cursed place, but as humans we were curious and ventured to the place, which they did. They didn't bother listening, because that's exactly what humans are, curious creatures. And I apologize for any cars you hear going by. Over time, became more brave and gutful. The one day, some of our people wandered into that place, but they weren't seen for days, which is true, because they kind of taking the line from Lord of the Rings. They dug too deep and too greedily. Humans went too far into the prison and eventually came across Zeta. Just because he's locked up away in a prison doesn't mean he doesn't have the influence to slowly affect people. Only would they come back, but they weren't the same. They would have nightmares, screaming in the night. After the third day, the sickness began. their eyes would leak this black goo. We called upon our savior God for his help, like a forest or village was on. That he told us that they had the corruption, told us that the corruption had settled in him and was too late. For our people, the sickness was spreading and we were unaware of how far. Basically true, they basically brought a plague back to the village and had no idea how to cure it, and he told us there was nothing we could do. Our village was doomed. We were so naive to think we could venture into that place without consequences. Later night, the screams began. I couldn't take it anymore, so I went deep into the forest and called out his name. Like a sudden fog rolling in, he appeared and I pleaded with him to save our people. Of course, Alucard, I warned her never to go to that land, and yet you didn't listen. This curse your people will take to their graves, which is true, because the ones who eventually die from the corruption Zeta, they don't no longer become human, and the ones who do survive it, pretty much die of insanity, I will not allow this blight to spread across lands, which is true, because all they have to do is just, slowly capture and bring people straight to Zeta, and he just slowly corrupts them, and hence the reason why the cult of Zeta, kept stealing people from other people's town to basically boost their army. Please, my people will die with your help. There must be something you can do. There is one thing, but your people will not approve of the methods, which is henceforth turning them to vampires, and not like your common movie vampires, like, oh no, garlic and crosses and holy water, all this crap, and then if they stand in the sunlight, they'll burn. These vampires, actual vampires, have the ability to actually stand in sunlight, not be harmed by it, but can never feel the warmth of the sun ever again. We gathered the council and we discussed that was planned to save our people. Many were against it, but others saw reason and knew there was no other way. So we met him in the forest, and our new lies began. He turned us into vampires, but not like the ones today. We are royal vampires, ones who can walk in the sunlight but never feel the warmth, which is true. We don't need to feed on humans, but it is choice, which is true, since they develop blood hearts. It prevents any suspicion of vampires attacking humans. We prefer blood hearts, a type of vegetable designed to mimic the blood of deceased mortals, without actually going out there and hunting them. We learned so much from him over the centuries, especially how to fight and how to use our magic. But he did leave us with a warning. Even if we are undead, we are not immune to Zeta's influence. So basically, just over time, it would just take them longer to be affected by it. It takes longer to affect us, even since we have never gone back to that place. Time would pass and new nomads would come and establish Wolfhaven, which is true, as their new home, but I admire you human for making it this far, so I will grant you a pass through the city, but be warned, do not make trouble here. We will not tolerate it, which is true. They haven't seen a human close to almost 300 years. Here comes one just randomly strolling into Dracula's castle. It's the last thing you want to do is start any trouble. So one last thing, your adventure will have a task for you, as you would call it, missing my shadow key, and this is where the side objective comes in. You're aware of a skeleton key, yes, hence a skeleton like in Skyrim, where a skeleton key can lock any doors. A shadow key is basically that, except there's a slight catch with it. Well, unlike them, this one will never break. However, I place a blood curse on it. You need to be a vampire to use it. So basically, you can steal the shadow key all you want. You can't use it unless you're a vampire. Quite a catch, I know, but can't have anybody going out there and using it for how they like. Last I heard, a thief took it somewhere in our city. I would ask my son, Victor. He might know more. If you bring it back to me, you will be given permission to access the world chest, which is over here. There, pulls you close and whispers in your ear. If you visit our Lord, be warned, it's been a very long time since a human has approached him, which is true, and that'll be later on, you'll find out. The only one that ever became his beloved wife a very long time ago, and I believe her name was... drumroll please... Carolina. But don't be shy, everybody has a history, they rather be kept a secret. Now, that little detail right there. And I'm not going to do Victor's side quest thing because it's just, it's at least a different thing. His beloved wife. Now, you've met Carolina in the main RPG, and you slowly meet her through some of the side quests, or in this case, the DLC. And as she mentioned, Carolina was once his beloved wife, which you should find quite interesting considering that Carolina is still alive now. And it is the same Carolina, not off descendant either. And that gets into a way deeper story. But our time is up. I apologize for any of the pause I had to do. I had to load it in chunks and have them deal with allergies, so it's kind of annoying. But this will be basically part 2 of the DLC, and we're slowly making our way up to the castle, and eventually we'll come across Dracula and so on and so forth. But either way, I hope your guys' Wednesday is going good. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and hope you guys will continue to enjoy the Minecraft walkthroughs. So, thanks guys.